I cannot help asking those who have caused this situation, do you realize now what you've done?
I want to be clear to those who try to oppose the United States. I want to be clear to those who wish to do us harm. We'll stop you, and we will beat you harder than you've ever been beaten before. Make no mistake about that.
In the last year, I have issued more than 10 emergency alerts dealing with the deteriorating situation, not just in the Middle East with Syria, but also with Ukraine bordering Russia. I've been following the statements coming out of the Kremlin and out of the Russian Defense Ministry. I've been following the statements out of the Pentagon and out of our Congress. I have been following the statements of top geopolitical analysts, journalists, and others. Vladimir Putin has press conferences and begs the Western media to inform the public about the fact that countries are being destabilized around Russia and weapons and troops are being moved in by NATO against Russia's border.
It's only you that they tell these fables and you buy it and spread it to the citizens of your countries. Your people do not feel a sense of the impending danger. This is what worries me. How do you not understand that the world is being pulled in an irreversible direction? That is the problem. But they pretend like nothing's going on. I don't even know how to get through to you people anymore.
And then George Soros goes on TV and brags that he was involved with the $5 billion that the State Department admits they sent to overthrow an elected government of Ukraine.
First, on Ukraine, one of the things that many people recognized about you was that you, during the revolutions of 1989, funded a lot of dissident activity, civil society groups in Eastern Europe, in Poland, the Czech Republic. Are you doing similar things in Ukraine?
Well, I set up a foundation in Ukraine before Ukraine became independent of Russia. And the foundation has been functioning ever since. And it played an important part in events now.
Russia is not offensively threatening our country, but our elites are preparing for a war with Russia, and then they want to go after their political opposition here in the United States, claiming we're Russian agents. And now, one of the most important developments in the 5-year tragic saga of the Western-backed Al-Qaeda-started civil war in Syria took place today. Russia came out in the Moscow Times. It was in Yahoo News, Associated Press, Daily Caller, you name it, stating any aircraft entering Syrian airspace that's not authorized by the Syrian government and the Russians who were invited in will be shot down. What does that signify in plain English? The Russians are saying there is a no-fly zone over Syria. You enter this country, we're going to take you out. Then the Russian military, through their embassy in the U.S., put out a tweet with an image of the famously deceptive White House press secretary with missiles aiming at him, saying, look, we're not going to allow your country to continue to back terrorists in Syria, which is what they've been doing. The bravado, the naked, insane, wild-eyed chutzpah of the elites running our country is evident in the fact that just a week ago, announcements were made by the State Department that terrorists would attack Russia, jihadis, the same one the West runs, if Russia didn't back off in Syria.
Extremist groups will continue to exploit the vacuums that are there in Syria to expand their operations, which will include, no question, attacks against Russian interests, perhaps even Russian cities.
The power structure hopes that the American people and the people of the West are not up to speed on geopolitical developments. They're counting on that. But let me break down the facts, and these are undisputed. Syria is a proxy war between Russia and the globalists that have hijacked the West. The West is using Al-Qaeda, Sunni, Wahhabist mercenaries, that's Islamic State, to invade the multi-religious, tolerant nation of Syria, to destabilize it and overthrow it as a gateway into Turkey and the rest of Europe for Islamic colonization. 4 years ago, our military basically engage in a soft coup, which Cy Hirsch reported on 4 years after we broke it, confirming it, but we have the sources, and said, we're not going to back al-Qaeda in the overthrow of this country. This is pure evil. So let's look who Obama has installed to complete Hillary's strategy in the Middle East. General Joseph Dunford, 2 weeks ago, saying, I'm ready to launch a no-fly zone over Syria, but if we do that, we'll have to shoot down Russian aircraft, and that will start a war with Russia and Syria.
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia.
Here's what the Army Chief of Staff, General Mark Milley, had to say just 2 days ago.
I want to be clear to those who try to oppose the United States. I want to be clear to those who wish to do us harm. I want to be clear to those around the world who want to destroy our way of life and that of our allies and friends. The United States military, despite all our challenges, despite our op-tempo, despite everything we've been doing, will stop you and we will beat you harder than you've ever been beaten before. Make no mistake about that.
We'll beat you harder than you've ever been beaten before. He says, get ready for a war as big as World War II. What comes after 2? 3. So in summation, it's very important, not just for our viewers and listeners to listen and listen very, very clearly and research what we've laid out here today, these facts that are irrefutable. It's important for our political class, who is completely disconnected from reality, to listen to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and others that are explaining to you that this is World War III you're asking for. I've never seen the Chief of Staff of the Army look this grave. They're being given a position of World War III, and I understand why they're trying to put a strong face on America, but there's no winning a war where the Russians can destroy the planet conservatively 100 times, and we can destroy it 300 times. There's no winner. The only way to win this game is not to play. And there's one final point I want to get to. The Russians have supersonic missiles, they're S-300s, and even more advanced, that are Mach 3 to Mach 6, and that nothing can shoot down. And they're aimed at our aircraft carriers. And I saw Congress 2 weeks ago when the chairman was there. They're saying, well, we're just going to shoot down their planes with missiles, so it won't matter. None of our people will be lost. And the general went, yeah, but then the Russians are going to respond, in the full hour-long clip. And Congress kept saying, yeah, but we're just going to hit them with missiles. Well, Russia asked for it. No, they didn't. They're there kicking al-Qaeda and ISIS out. They're there doing what we should be doing. Our elite are so corrupt, they make Russia look good. And that's shameful. America needs to wake up out of its coma before you finally wake up because you live outside a major city and weren't killed immediately by the 1,000 megaton hydrogen bomb that goes off at 1,000 feet airburst above your house. Everyone in history thinks they're immune from wars till it happens. Non-military combatants that weren't even in the crosshairs in the 20th century number at over 260 plus million from democide, death by government. The numbers killed in military actions are even higher. I want this planet to continue on. I am an agent of humanity. I'm an agent of real peace. I believe in sovereignty. I believe in standing up for ourselves. But it's not the Russians opening up our borders and bringing in the jihadis. It's the New World Order. It's the globalists. It's Merkel and Obama and Hillary. Russia is just trying to stabilize its own country. The globalists see it as weak and are trying to drive it into collapse and bringing us to the very verge of World War III because a bunch of old neocons and people get a hard-on getting off on the ultimate sickness, which is war. It's time to reel these people in. It's time to deal with the biggest, clear and present danger humanity has ever faced. I'm Alex Jones signing off with this emergency of emergency reports. It's time for sanity to prevail. Now, please spread this video link to everyone you know and the articles on Infowars.com that detail it and break it all down. Ah, you stuck around, so now you get the little gallows humor Easter egg of the day. There has been a huge meme going the last few days because I tweeted out a photo of myself horseback riding with my children with my shirt off. And I even made the joke myself. Oh, I'm a Russian agent. I'm against World War III. Ha, ha, ha. And there's been a lot of photoshopping with myself and Donald Trump, riding around together with Putin. Well, those photos are fake, just like this one I'm about to show you from 2-3 years ago, where I made the joke that I was out horseback riding at the end of the first Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. So let's hope that this real world crisis we're facing doesn't end like it did in the Charlton Heston classic film, because sometimes life does imitate art.
SAC, this is Crystal Palace. Sync NORAD has declared DEFCON 3. Scramble all alert aircraft. I repeat, scramble all alert aircraft.
The Whopper spends all its time thinking about World War III.
Target selection complete. Time on target sequence complete.
22 Typhoon-class submarines departing Petropavlovsk, turning southbound at Nordkap, bearing 095 degrees.
Radar reports 2 unknown tracks are penetrating the Alaskan air defense zone.
From the front lines of the information war.
Flush the bombers, get the subs in launch mode. We are at DEFCON 1.
Are you prepared to destroy the enemy?
You betcha.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic.
We'll keep control, but we'll keep it here at the top where it belongs.
3, 2, 1. Impact.
Shall we play a game?
How about global thermonuclear war?
Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
All units confirm weapons targeted and ready, awaiting launch codes.
We are in a launch mode.
Do you really believe that the enemy would attack without provocation?
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
We're in. Russians are still denying everything, sir. We have a Soviet submarine launch detection.
I wish I didn't know about any of this. I wish I was like everybody else.
Then, the only winning move is not to play.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality InfoWars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.